sit here. And sit here, watch the mic. Okay. So we're going to start with some basic questions.
Do I have to say hello?
You can if you want.
Okay. Hi, my name is Abshir and you want to start? I have so many things to say, just like...
Hi, my name is Adrianna. I came into care in 2012. I was 12 years old. No, I was 11 years old.
Okay, hi, my name is Abshir and I came to Canada the end of 2016. After that, I didn't have no one in Canada, so basically it was the family child service who took my responsibilities, not my responsibility, but they took care of me. And then I went on a shelter. I stayed there shelter for like a couple months, like around 5 months, I think, if I'm thinking correct. And then I moved to foster care, and I was in foster care till I was 18, and then I moved out by myself, independent. So that's my story. Like basically, I'm from Somalia. I was born in Somalia and I raised there, but see, the Somalia is not a good like it's a war country. So I moved out to get a better life, to get a better education, better life basically. So I traveled by myself from all those countries to. I moved from Somalia with my auntie actually. We ran away from the people in Somalia who are like the terrorists, whatever they call. So we moved from Somalia to Kenya, and my auntie couldn't feel safe there, so we moved out from Kenya to all the way to South Africa. We stayed there, and my auntie didn't have enough money to we both for like what's called to come all the way Canada, so she just sent me to Canada. So she sent me actually to Brazil, and that's how I got to all those countries by myself. But the basic, obviously I had other people, like other my people from my own country, but like everyone they were doing for themselves. No one was like helping. It's just I got Brazil, and then I go through all those all countries in Latin America, and then I came to America. I stayed in America for a couple of months, and then that time was around what's called when Trump became a president. So I didn't feel like everyone was scared at the time. Oh, you're gonna get sent back, and I think people could imagine being through all that traveling and all that suffering to come to a place and then sent back again. It was like terrible idea, or like very terrifying in nightmares. So it was like, what other choice did we have to come with? There was only choice we had was to come to Canada. So I came to Canada at the end of 2016.
I grew up with my mom's family. So it was me, my mom, my nan, and my 2 little brothers. They were 6 and 1 when we got taken, and I was 12. We ended up getting picked up from school, and then I remember they picked me up first, and we went to go pick up my little brother was still in the car actually when they picked me up. And we ended up going to my house to grab my little brother, and I just remember, like, I didn't really know what was going on at the time. I was so new to all of this, and same with my little brother. He was very curious, and to be told that we weren't able to go inside was crazy. We moved to like 2 to 3 foster homes before we all got split up. My little brother got split up first, like Jiggle. He went into his own he went to his own foster home, and me and my little brother were together. So we ended up moving to like 3 other foster homes, but then I ended up getting taken away from where my little brother was, the baby, and that's when I got moved out of the city. But my little brother ended up, we all have different like dads. So my little brother, the baby, he ended up going to live with his dad at the time, and he's been with his dad ever since. So the last time I seen him, he was 3 years old, but his dad has like full custody of him. So that CFS told me that they had nothing to do, like they couldn't do anything about it. It was up to the dad to make visits. And then I still see my little brother, but he's with family now, as he was just in a foster home. He'd been at 2 foster homes, my little brother. So he's been in both of them for a long time. So he ended up moving with family finally. And I just been on my own. I've had family and stuff, but it just still feels like I've been on my own, you know?
And to be honest, if I look it back, I feel like it was a good thing. To be honest, I might have suffered, I might have like been through a little bit tough and rough, but today it made me who I am, and I'm really proud of it, and I did not regret it at all.
I wish I could go back and change a lot of things. Like when I was in care, we ended up losing my nan. I haven't seen her like, cause all the visits ended up stopping. Like the last time I seen my little brother when he was 3, all the visits just stopped. Like they went from weekly to monthly, and then we became like permanent awards. So the visits stopped, and so I haven't seen my little brother. And then my nan ended up getting really sick. She fell deeper to her addiction. Her and my mom both did. But then I ended up losing my nan. Yeah. So that was like a breaking point for me. Yeah. So I wish I could go back and change a lot of things. I wish I knew I was able to, like, I knew I wasn't able to physically go and see my family according to like the law, but like I still could have made time, you know, because I was out all the time and I was in the areas that they were. So I wish I could go back and change a lot of things.
Nothing easy, to be honest. It was always tough to make any decision, because first of all, those people are like the people you just met yesterday or not too long ago. And they're not really your parents. It's different understanding with your parents. Even if you feel welcoming in that place, sometimes in yourself you feel like you're not welcoming. So it's always like the decisions, and sometimes you make your own decision, because if I was like, I feel like they were a good family, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I felt like I wish I didn't move to foster care, for real. Like I wish I stayed by myself, and or even like move in independent, because I learned more about my right, and I learned a lot of things I could do at the time. I feel that I couldn't do it.
Like fostering, you shouldn't just, it's not just a home over somebody's head. You're not just like, you're supposed to interact with them, understand them, get to know them, and just be there for them. Like, I don't know, they just go to work and go do their thing. Like a lot of them don't really take the time to, like, as a kid, like this is my kid kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? If it's long term, you should consider that child yours. Not like yours, but you should have a relationship with them, and even interact with their, like, if the kids are separated, the foster parents should interact with the other kids' foster, like the siblings' foster parents. Boundaries, like let them know what it is and what it isn't. Not just like, because a lot of places, they have rules already set. Sometimes they even just write down the rules to let you know what it is. I feel like they could be more, like, work with you and let you know.
I feel like they just throw the rules right away, and you feel like that place is not a house.
Yeah, no
You
home.
feel like it's more on what's called a shelter, or more on a cell to be in it. To be honest, if they more like you throw in the rules, you should more like try to get the relationship to get to know the person more. He was a great social worker, and I'm really happy that I had him as a social worker. For all those things I've been through, he was there for me anytime I needed. Any day I wanted to call him. He was such a great man that I won't even forget the rest of my life. I always remember that man. He was very helpful, and I'm really thankful for that.
Like how the kid grows up and how they go through their things, and it's like you can see what a social worker did for them. Like it's, I don't know, it's like me, like my social worker, she's been with me since I was 15. At 15, 16, I was bad. Like I was just bonkers. I went crazy, and she was there. But like she was always there, but I'd always go missing, and she'd always be the one to come find me. Like I could just call her and she'd come and grab me. And even when I graduated, they threw a big graduation party at the office just for the couple kids that graduated. When I always told her that I wanted a secure home, like routine and stuff, because when I lived in foster homes, it wasn't like I was just able to do as I pleased, basically. Like there was no listening to nobody, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. I wanted to feel like secure and a day-to-day routine, and I wanted to feel like home, that kind of thing. So I ended up moving back with my auntie, and she's but other than that, it was like school. She'd make sure that like I would go to a school that I was comfortable with. Yeah, she's been with me through it all, through my days, through everything. But I did have some mixed feelings towards her when my nan passed away, because I just felt like it was her fault. But then as I was growing and getting older, I understand like it wasn't her fault, you know what I mean? And she's rooting for me, and she's been nothing but good to me. She tells me like she wishes she always told me like I wish I could just bring you home with me. And yeah, she just made sure to be there for me and understand me, and even my little brother too. I went through like 4 social workers. The first couple, I wasn't too fond of them because I felt like they didn't really take the time to, like they'd just check up on me when they needed to check up on me, or when I tried calling them. Like I remember I'd call the office, like they knew it was me. Like I'd call every like hour of the day, every day, because I remember they put me in a motel room, so there was just staff coming in and out. So I was like, I didn't even know the city like that. So I was like younger, so I'd be calling them, like, are you guys coming? Are you guys coming? But there were like a lot of, I don't know, it's like they didn't really do much.
In shelter homes, and I've seen it, all those things. I've seen that some kids call their social work too many times and they never show up. Sometimes that's like they separate the kids without giving any permission. They force them everything. They basically like put them in places they don't want, like, and 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 I get it that sometimes the kids like are a little bit disrespectful, and that's it's they get neglected. They don't have nothing other than you. So if you really want to like help a person, you have to be like have that patience. Like not looking for the kid for the good way. It's you obviously like someone getting neglected, someone came from a broken house. You expect it's gonna be that easy to handle? No, it's not. It's gonna be tough handling. But do you have that passion? Do you have that feeling? That do you have that like sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice to impact this kid's life? And to be honest, when you see someone you have impact their life, and you see them grow up for that and become a better person, that makes you even happy.
Proud.
Yeah, that makes you even proud, super proud for yourself. Not only like seeing that person, what he has been through, but you seeing the other side of who he really is. You call them names, some weird names, say, oh, that person is bad, or we put them in different foster care, or we put them in
out of the city or further.
yeah, out of the city where they know the place they grow up. Like this always, like I feel like this, if no matter how bad you are, there's always there's someone who can like change you in a better way, maybe to show in the patient. Listen, to be honest, when I was a kid, I feel even she agrees with me, by just seeing someone to listen to you, it was like it was very 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 important to my life. Just to see this person is just trying to understand where you're coming from. But most of social work, they don't do that. They don't at all try to understand that person's where is this kid coming from, and they should see that way more and see like where is this kid coming from, where is this pain coming from. He's taking all this, and he's a kid. He doesn't know nothing. I had like, I never felt anything from my school. I'm like, I was outgoing. I was very like, I always, if I had something like bothers me, I always talk. I wasn't someone who was like, just text everything in, but I never felt anything. But my teachers, they were actually great. I felt like they were more helpful than actually itself the care. They extend even the help for like past their own job, what they get paid for. They're even helping me more about myself, my life, in my personal life, my house, my home. And I remember there was times like I have to sign some papers. There was like they were them who take me to the place to sign for me, to help me to go all the way there to sign the papers. They were like there was a times like I would be like super stressed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to talk to, like I didn't know who to talk to. They were like the people I could go and talk to them. That's how much how much I felt about them. And it was all, they would never be like just school work. They were always there for me, even my personal life, asking me things that was maybe more personal to some people, but I felt it was like very good to open my shoulder and my every stress I had. And I remember there was like days I was like I couldn't even do no more nothing. I was just like, enough, it's enough. But there were always people who bring me up, not only school, not only my grades, not has nothing to do. They could easily tell me like, they could easily just do their job, but not do the other thing. But they passed there, and they as what's called, as a human, just helped me out a lot.
Like sometimes it wasn't even teachers, it was like the guidance counselors or like the resource workers, and they would just take the time to try and understand. And I got very frustrated, but it's like I tried my best to keep it cool with the ones that had good intentions with me. Sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I felt like some people were against me and didn't really quite understand why I was the way I am. And every school that I went to, I've had a teacher that was on my good side. Like I've had, they were always rooting for me. Even though like I was a troublemaker in some of the schools, there was always that one teacher that was rooting for me. When I came into care, it was hard to get into school. I was out of school for the first year, so I missed a lot of school. And I was moved around a lot within that time. That's why it was hard to get into school, because I kept moving placements. I got into a lot of trouble. So I was in and out of school still. And the time I settled down, when I realized a lot, I was 17 or 16, turning 17. And that's when I just stuck to myself, and I just stuck to school. I didn't really make any friends there. I probably made about 1 or 2 friends, and I just went to school day to day. And I ended up graduating in 2020. So that was my big turnaround. It was to educate us on all of the resources that we have and to learn more. I learned a lot from there. I like slowly in care, like I was learning a bit about it, but I guess the class, the kids in care, for kids in care, that's where I got a lot of my information.
The big thing was university, to be honest. I always thought that once you go graduate high school, it's gonna be you do all those things.
For school, for post-secondary, there's like lots of money out there. So it's like, I feel motivated for that because like that gives me a chance to do something with my life.
So I did not know that. The other thing, I did not know a lot of things that I had a right at the time I was under 18. That I got it very like, I wish I took that class or it was existed way before that. And I hope it exists for the other generation too.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have a stable job, and I'm hoping to be in a better position than I am in now. Like this is me, like I wouldn't necessarily say I'm struggling, but that's just how I feel, you know, because I feel like I'm doing it alone. And also money-wise, like how am I gonna pay for this and how am I gonna get through it? But I do have lots of family support, and I do have a lot of people rooting for me. A lot of people see potential in me. But it's like I have my days where I just feel like, I just don't feel motivated, you know what I mean? But I do motivate myself and my little brothers, because they both look up to me.
So my goal is to I'm trying to go to university. Like I'm trying to be what's called reach my goal, which is like to be a doctor. Yeah.